Good morning. Welcome to this new book, a new capstone for decision making. Universities call capstone to the last course of many careers to prepare students to make decisions. This book has a very ambitious purpose. It's to provide a brand new, powerful tool to help decision makers make personal, organizational, or political economic decisions based on discernment. This new capstone is necessary and crucial for any person, organization, or nation. The book is presented in 2 volumes. Volume 1, New Strategic Management, Political Economy, and Leadership, transforms strategic management, the discipline that traditionally universities use as capstone, with new powerful tools. This new strategic management introduces crucial components that transform the entire decision making. First, it introduces critical thinking, which is crucial in decision making. This new strategic management presents organizations as systems with metrics, which are both sources of critical thinking. Second, it introduces intellectual capital. The metrics provide the mathematical foundation of Edvinson's intellectual capital model, which is crucial for the knowledge economy. The traditional strategic management refers to resources mostly as process capital. The intellectual capital model expands the view of resources to human capital, knowledge, motivation, health, education, social capital, relationships, civic behavior, trust, institutions, and renewal capital, innovation and growth. Intellectual capital is crucial in strategic management and also in political economy. Third, it shows the centrality of leadership. The metrics show that to succeed, an organization must outperform others, promoting leadership throughout the entire organization. These intuitions introduce political economy and leadership into the capstone, transforming decision-making entirely. These intuitions become pillars of discernment, the best way to make decisions. Volume 2, Discernment, outlines a decision-making process based on 10 dimensions of our personal and community lives, aiming for our happiness and overall success and well-being of society. Let's begin by discussing strategic management, which is shown on the left side of the image. Many universities associate a capstone course with strategic management. However, the discipline of strategic management is not really a capstone, as it consists largely of disconnected theories and models that lack cohesion. This fragmentation makes it difficult to propose a comprehensive organizational strategy, or to integrate the strategies of various functions. Furthermore, the absence of clear metrics creates ambiguity and hinders effective decision-making. The field also lacks a holistic approach to critical and interdisciplinary thinking, which is essential for sound decision-making. Volume 1 introduces a new approach to strategic management that addresses these limitations. Over the last 3 decades, a new wave of economists landed in the strategic management discipline, 5 of them Nobel Prize winners. Their economic models provide a crucial element, critical thinking. For example, Stephen Martin presents a model to describe innovation, building critical thinking. Innovation only works if the innovative company has market power. Another example, the Stackelberg model, it also introduces critical thinking. Some decisions make sense if we have the right resources. However, industrial economics has limitations. It does not propose a single metric or a single conceptual framework to analyze the success of the entire organization, and it does not connect the strategies among themselves or among other parts of the organization. Economic value creation refers to the decision-making process we engage in, both in our personal lives and business. Whenever we make a new effort or investment, we want to ensure that we are choosing the option that yields the best outcomes. To address these issues, McKinsey developed the EVA model, Economic Value Added, which offers a new approach to strategic management. This approach solves the limitation of the traditional strategic management. The insights from McKinsey's economic value model is that in order to survive and thrive, we must perform better than our competitors. This leads us to compare with others, which encourages critical thinking. Additionally, we must strive for excellence, which incorporates leadership into our decision-making processes. According to McKinsey Economic Value Added (EVA) model, strategic management can be simplified into three fundamental strategies that drive economic value creation. First, a company must achieve greater profitability than its competitors. This requires implementing competitive strategies that generate a stronger EVA. Profits are essential for a firm, much like blood is to the body. Once the company is profitable, then it must grow above the competition, and to do that, it needs innovation strategies. To successfully compete and innovate, an organization requires superior resources compared to its competitors, superior intellectual capital. We now have a simple model for analyzing our strategies. This model enhances clarity, simplicity, and the integration of all organizational strategies. It promotes critical thinking while emphasizing the importance of intellectual capital. For simplicity, we will put the same graph in two dimensions. The horizontal dimension reflects the EVA. The profits are the results of the competitive strategies. And the vertical dimension, sales growth, is the result of the innovation strategies. And this is very important to all. If a company has a positive EVA, the more it invests, the more economic value it generates. Conversely, if a company has a negative EVA, the more it invests, the more economic value it destroys. It is estimated that around 50% of companies operate with a negative EVA, destroy economic value. Let's see some examples that Volume 1 presents. This image shows most of Starbucks' recommended strategies for the next year. How can you create this page? I relied on a financial simulation to analyze the value creation of Starbucks. The first year of the simulation is based on Starbucks' historical financial data, while the subsequent years were projected using publicly available information. The graph displayed shows the results of the financial simulation, outlining Starbucks' expected economic value for the coming years. The company's economic profits are anticipated to be around 20% over the next few years, which is impressive. Additionally, the growth rate is projected to be approximately 10% during the same period, which is also very good. Overall, we begin with reliable and objective financial data. Numbers tell the truth and play a central role in defining future strategies. Once we assess Starbucks' economic value creation, we can place the EVA and sales growth on this strategic map to discuss the recommended strategies for the next years. I will not explain the strategies here. You can read them in the book. Similar to their innovation strategies, resource strategies, operation strategies, human resources strategies, organization structure strategies, international strategies, corporate strategies, and even strategic planning strategies. This is remarkable. By understanding how to create economic value, we can summarize all strategic management in a single page. This allows us to analyze the environment, strategies, and results for the upcoming years. We can evaluate the consistency of various strategies, such as whether operation strategies or human resource strategies align with competitive innovation and resource strategies. This exercise fosters critical and interdisciplinary thinking, which are essential competencies for any manager. It also aids in recognizing the true intellectual capital of the organization. Volume 1 presents a second example. I investigated 120 companies that represent the main industries in the United States. You can find the data I use in the resources page at the bottom of this website. This slide displays the same graph used earlier, with EVA on the horizontal axis and sales growth on the vertical axis. In the matrix to the right, you can see the significant differences in the intellectual capital of these industries. This is very important. Some important industries have very limited capacity to create economic value and intellectual capital. The previous page indicated that the software industry has an intellectual capital of 16 times. This page presents the companies within the software industry, along with their EVA and sales growth, which are the two main metrics of intellectual capital. You may notice that some leading companies possess more or less intellectual capital compared to the industry average. And with this, we conclude the strategic management part of Volume 1. We have developed a new strategic management approach that is simple and utilizes clear metrics applicable to all areas of organization. This approach emphasizes the importance of intellectual capital and fosters critical thinking. These insights serve as a foundation for informed decision making, which we will explore further later on. Let's proceed to the second part of Volume 1. It integrates political economy into the capstone, offering a vital insight for society. The success of a nation depends on its intellectual capital. Political economy literature significantly supports the first two dimensions of intellectual capital, human capital and social capital. Modern political economy argues that economic growth relies on resources, such as human capital, which includes knowledge, technology, education, health, creativity. Economic growth depends on social capital, which includes social integration, cooperation, trust, democratic institutions, and predictable civic behavior. Social justice requires also resources, human, social, renewal, and process capital that foster solidarity and subsidiarity. Leif Edmondson measured the national intellectual capital for several dozen countries, as shown in this example. This approach introduces a new agenda, addressing the challenges of modern political economy, must focus on developing intellectual capital. This focus can foster economic growth and social justice, reduce conflict between opposing political ideologies, and promote global peace. Let's move on to the final section of Volume 1, which integrates leadership into the capstone. As demonstrated by the EVA equation, to achieve success, organizations must surpass their competition, which requires leadership. Leadership fosters the development of intellectual capital. Leaders enhance human capital by promoting better organizational knowledge, research, productivity, health, and life expectancy. Leaders promote social capital by fostering relationships, building social networks, encouraging norms of reciprocity, and promoting goodwill, institutions, culture, collaboration, and trust. Leaders foster renewal capital, the drive to surpass limitations, enhance capabilities, and empower social initiatives. Leaders advocate for a process capital that strives for the best outcomes for society. There are various models of leadership. Volume 1 emphasizes a process-based perspective on leadership, which offers several advantages. Leadership is a process and serves as a vital resource of organizations. It is part of the organization's intellectual capital and is not reliant on any individual. Instead, it encompasses several key leadership styles. The Baldrige Excellence Framework is a process-based model that promotes outstanding leadership through a continuous improvement process that fosters critical thinking, intellectual capital, and excellent leadership. We will rely on the Baldrige Framework in Volume 2. We conclude Volume 1 here. If you have any question, this website provides several ways to contact me. Thank you.